qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 1/2/24.
Sports fans, we love our teams, but let's talk real estate for a moment. Meet Berg Title, your trusted local real estate title and escrow company. Based in downtown Panama City, Berg Title knows the community inside out. They handle everything from title searches to escrow services with expertise. Honest, reliable, and here to make your real estate journey smooth. Remember, it's Berg Title. Call them at 850-250-2900. That's Berg Title, your partner for a worry-free real estate experience in Panama City and Panama City Beach.
Before I was adopted, I felt alone.
After spending years in foster care, Lexi worried that she and her brother were too old to be adopted. Thankfully, the siblings were adopted, with help from the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption.
I love teenagers. To see how brave Lexi was and how she opened herself up to being in a family, all of a sudden, she's holding my hand and calling me Mom. It was really special.
Every child, no matter their age, deserves to grow up in a safe, permanent home.
Children at every age experience challenges. Teenagers are more complex than young children, but in the best ways.
You're never too old for family. Learn how you can help children still waiting to be adopted from foster care at davethomasfoundation.org.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
The Panhandle's destination for live play-by-play.
WGSX Lynn Hayden, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the next evolution of sports talk radio. The biggest stories and the biggest reactions.
Now.
And now we're taking...
With the first pick.
This is the last ball you gotta bet. The Inside Drive. From college to the pros. Interviews with the newsmakers, sports betting, your phone calls, and more. And now, The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And good Thursday morning, Jay Henley. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm excited about today, Jay Henley.
I am too, Ryan.
I got to give a huge shout out before we go through all our IDs and all that nonsense to my good friend Jody Graham. He's set this whole interview thing up with Charlie Belgian at 11:20, and if you were going to listen, you want to make sure you listen. He's got an unbelievable story. Kind of came up to the PGA Tour. He won a PGA. He got his tour card in 2012. He won a PGA Tour event while having a panic attack during his second round. Goes to the hospital in between his second and third round. Comes back, wins the tour, first tour win, gets his tour card, all that stuff. And he had a very, very, very big bout with alcoholism as well and hit rock bottom. And he's been on the come up. He's got a lot of gratitude now. He found God, and he's trying to get back on the Korn Ferry Tour or the PGA Tour, not for himself, but to potentially help other people. We're going to go through that whole story with him coming up at 11:20 for 2 segments. So you want to make sure you're still tuned in. And how can you tune into that? You can go to you can listen on 104.3 in Panama City Beach, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You can watch us on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So if you're listening live and you can't make the 11:20 spot, you can always go watch any of these shows, the Coach James Hale Show, the Inside Drive, or the Afternoon Underdogs on all three of those platforms as they live there in infamy, unless we go in and delete a show. But we don't typically do that, so you can find that. You just got to search ESPN Northwest Florida. And then last but not least, you go to the Google Play or Apple Store and you search 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Download our free mobile app. Click the Listen Live button. Don't have any access to that. You're at work and you don't want to see anybody. You get permission today to listen. It's completely fair. You can go to ESPNPC.com, click Listen Live, and boom, it's right there. It's right there, Jay Henley.
We'll write you a doctor's note or whatever.
A doctor's note?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Signed by Jay Henley.
There you go.
The swing doctor.
The swing doctor.
There you go. Yes. But yes, very much excited for that to come up. And how did you got the Super 6? Is it all full?
It is, but with the weather, I'm following suit with a lot of things going on this weekend. I see a lot of cancellations, Christmas parades, whatever it may be. I'm going to follow suit. We're gonna move that to next weekend.
Okay.
From 12, we're going to do 8 hours instead of 12 hours of instruction. But right now, I've got like 4 committed, and I've got 3 or 4 that are on the fence for next weekend. So it's kind of like a little full. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
the glass is more than half full.
It is. But looking for good weather. I keep looking at this forecast. I think next weekend we're finally going to get away from this this trend that we've got going on in the next couple weeks. So hopefully
Let's
it'll
hope
be.
so.
Yeah, no kidding.
Raining on the weekend is no bueno.
No,
especially this time of year for a golf course, because this is the time of year we see more play on the weekends than we do on the week.
Think about your Monday through Friday 8 to 5ers right now. You're coming home. It's dark, and then on the weekends, it's raining 9 inches. Like, we need a break.
Yep, absolutely. And we didn't have a lot of rain for about 2.5 months. I feel like we're getting punished now.
Right. I
know I mentioned it yesterday. You got a big old game tonight. Pats Steelers.
Ooh.
Lowest over-under point total in primetime NFL history at 30.5. What do you think the final score is tonight?
Dang.
Mitch Trubisky versus, I'm assuming Bailey Zappi starting. I don't know if Mac's starting or not.
Yeah.
But it's either Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi.
The trend has been the under has been winning most of these NFL games. Right?
Here's another little fun fact for you, Jay Henley. These are the teams that have allowed the fewest points since Week 9. The Patriots, 46 points. The 49ers, 49 points. The Dolphins, 62. The Ravens, 66. And the Colts, 67. The Colts are 4-0. The Ravens are 3-1. The Dolphins are 3-1. The Niners are 4-0. The Patriots, whose defense has allowed the fewest points since Week 9. Do you know what their record is since Week 9?
What?
0-4.
Oh.
Now, I don't have the offensive statistics, but I'm sure they would be the opposite. So all that leads to why the over-under is 30.5 tonight.
Yes.
You taking the under?
That's a tough one.
I mean, it's 17-14 covers the over.
Yeah. What you going to do?
I'm probably going to stay away from it.
You're going to stay away from it?
Find a prop or two, something like that. But if I had to, I would take the under.
Okay.
The only way, you may have a couple pick sixes, defensive fumble recovery for a touchdown, but I just don't see how both teams have fantastic. I just explained why. The Patriots have a fantastic defense. They just don't have an offense to complement it.
Right.
And Pittsburgh's offense has kind of been hit or miss, and Kenny Pickett was trending in the right direction, but now he's not playing. Old Uncle Mitch is coming to play. And the Steelers are right there in the playoff hunt. They're 7-5 right now, the 5th seed in the AFC. Yeah. So a lot on the line for them. I guess you could say a lot on the line for the Patriots as well, because they're in a close battle with a lot of other teams for who will have the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th draft pick here coming up in the 2024 NFL draft.
Where are we tonight? Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Yep. Up there in Steel City. I can't tell you what the stadium's called. It's some big funky name. I'm going to call it Heinz Field because it used to be Heinz Field.
Well, that's what I was going to say, too.
Yeah, it's a big word now.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is. I also got to give a congratulations to Coach Cliff Ellis. He's been on the show with us before. I'm going to hope to have him on next week as well. He's officially retired from NCAA basketball. He was the active wins leader in the NCAA in all divisions, 9th all-time in Division I wins with 831. The only coach with 170-plus wins at 4 Division I schools, South Alabama, Clemson, Auburn, and Coastal Carolina. He's a 6-time Coach of the Year in the Sun Belt Conference, the SEC, the ACC, as well as the Big South Conference. 10 NCAA appearances, three Sweet 16 appearances as well. And he's, I believe he's from the Niceville area. He's from just up the road from us. So, again, congratulations to Coach Cliff Ellis, and I look forward to hopefully talking to him next week here on the show, because we've talked to him once since we got started.
Yeah.
And, he was one of those guys. He's like, I just can't. He said he was going to retire at the end of the season.
Right.
But he said it wouldn't do his players any justice because they knew he'd be retiring. And in this world we live in with NIL and transfer portal,
he was vocal about that.
Oh, yeah, he said it's impossible. He said when you're at a school like Coastal who can't devote really any money to college basketball, he says you just can't get the best players.
Right.
Or great players. And even the great ones you get, they may play a year and then they're going somewhere else. Because Coastal is one of those basketball places like where you go to kind of, either get your grades up or boost your resume, so to speak, and then make a jump to a bigger team there.
Yeah. Well, congratulations, Coach. What a great career.
Great season. Just a great guy.
Yeah.
He comes and plays golf with us every once in a while, and he's got some great stories. And, I just got an email from jhenleygolf.com.
There you go. Hey, it was like it just happened. It's crazy.
Like, was it a scheduled one, or you got somebody working out there for you?
It was Joanna.
Ooh, So the relationship is still, it's a work relationship now at this point.
Is. Yeah.
So sometimes you can't mix work and pleasure. That'll get you in trouble.
No.
And it didn't work out.
It didn't. That's it.
She's still working, and she's sending out emails for you.
Thanks, Joanna.
Golfwithj.com, and that has to do with your Winter Junior Golf Camp, December 27th through 29th. That's for ages 7 to 10s, $275 per golfer. It'll be from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m., which this time of year, that is peak warm.
It is.
For this time of year.
It is.
I'm hoping we'll have a beautiful January. And our December's off to a little bit of a rough start.
Yeah.
Or maybe if that weekend between Christmas and New Year's is spectacular, that's all we can really ask for, because that's a big week for Panama City Beach, Panama City, and businesses that have outdoor things going on that week.
Right.
Everybody loves to travel between New Year's or Christmas and New Year's, which is coming up 2 weeks from Monday.
Are you going to go see the beach ball drop or no?
Probably not.
Yeah.
I get sleepy.
I
haven't seen Midnight in a long time. And if I have seen Midnight, it's because I woke up at like 1 o'clock after falling asleep.
But you never saw Midnight.
But I never saw Midnight.
Yeah.
Now I was awake after midnight, but for a very brief point of time.
I'm with you. Those days have come and gone.
You fall asleep in the recliner looking at your Incline TV.
That's it. I'll work on that. That'll be a New Year's goal for me, is to perhaps maybe wall mount a TV.
Wow, really setting the bar extremely high for your New Year's resolutions there.
And then with your linearness, I'll have you come and inspect it and make sure that it's right and tight.
Make sure you put it on a stud.
Okay, I will.
I mean, you could do it in a drywall mount, but it's good sized TV. You don't want that pulling off the wall.
Does that business still exist? Like the wall mounting people?
Yeah.
I mean, is that?
I should plug him and then send him a bill. But he's called the TV Mountain Man.
Okay.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job too, by the way.
I bet it's probably an in and out process. He could probably do that in like 20 minutes, probably. It'd take me like 4 days.
It can be cumbersome if you don't have the right tools or the right size mount for your TV. That is key. Yeah. It depends on what you want your mount to do. You want it to just tilt, or do you want it to be able to come out and angle it? There's all sorts of stuff nowadays.
Right.
But yeah, and then you got to figure out how to get your wires in the wall if you don't have an outlet already up by your TV, unless you don't care about the wires. I'm guessing you don't care about the wires, given your TV is currently angled on a stand leaning up against the wall. Wires, no big deal. But your wires are covered. You can't see them.
See? There you go.
But that's the real reason.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do all these wires right here that they kind of on the table, does that bother you?
A little bit.
Does it?
It's more the crumbs Coach Hale leaves on the table that bother me.
Right.
Just kidding. Hey, Coach Hale, if you're listening, I printed out some bowl sheets. That competition, we got to get it going because the bowls start next Saturday, the 16th. So I think we're going to try to, we're going to come up with a consensus pick between the three of us for each bowl game. And then I want his Friday show to do it. So it's Jim and Jason. And then we'll keep a running total of that for the entire bowl season and see who does better.
I have a whole series of bowl games with spreads. Do you want them?
No.
Oh, you already got them?
No, I got the papers. They're in my bag.
Oh.
But we're going to do it not against the spread.
Oh,
we're just going to do straight up pick 'em.
Makes sense.
And we're going to pick the Army-Navy game in our pick 'em this week because that is going on.
Yes.
I found out that that's not always at Caveman Rick told me on Monday. I always thought that was in Philadelphia at the Link. But he said it's moved around a little bit. And it's in Foxborough this year, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought it was in Philly. Philly plays in Dallas this weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Philly. Okay.
Yeah, Sunday Night
That'll
Football.
be another good one.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one coming up.
Ooh.
I really want Dallas to win that one.
What, did you just say that?
Yes, I did.
I mean, pick your poison, right?
No, I want Dallas to win because I want the Eagles to have another loss.
Oh.
So the Niners can get to the number 1 seed if they win out.
So yeah, I never thought I'd hear you say that.
I mean, that's putting the Niners above the Cowboys and the Eagles should they win. Yeah, I'm pulling for the Cowboys to win, but it's for a selfish 49ers reason.
Gotcha.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Go Dak. I said that. I shouldn't have said that. It's going to be interesting to see how it all shapes out. I got some stuff I want to kick to later. I didn't mention it yesterday, but a lot of people have already talked about it. You know, a little small silver lining for all those Seminoles out there. They did win the soccer national championship very convincingly as well, 5-0 over Stanford after beating Clemson in the semifinals 2-0. And they won it 2 years ago. They didn't win it last year, but Florida State women's soccer is a powerhouse. And we even had a former Arnold Marlin girl on the soccer team. Now, she's been battling some injuries, but yeah, pretty cool to see the Seminoles win the any national championship is a good national championship. It doesn't just have to be football.
No, that's right.
Jay. It's so funny. Everywhere you go, you still hear all the chatter about the college football players.
Oh, I hear it all the time.
Constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
But the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I don't think there's no grease to get.
Yeah.
You can be as squeaky as you want, but it is what it is, right?
Right.
The old is what it is.
Yep.
I don't know. We'll see. I still, the bowl game, I don't think is going to, be what it could be, depending on how a lot of people are declaring and transferring and all that particular stuff. Because Jeremy Pridgeon said it best this morning on the Coach James Hale show. It's kind of like a winter camp with a kind of like a scrimmage at the end of that winter camp for a lot of these teams, unless you're in the college football playoff, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, golf ball rollback. You scared?
I mean, what kind of rollback are we talking? Is it like a 30-yard difference?
Oh, my God, no. If it was a 30-yard difference, everybody already would have lost their minds. That is for sure.
So this is nothing too drastic,
I guess. Hold on. Where did I put it? I put it somewhere here. I think, off the top of my head, elite golfers may lose like 9 to 11 yards on tee shots. When it boils down to like your good amateur men and women, 3 to 5 yards.
Oh.
I mean, it's a difference, but is it going to affect your fun?
No, not at all.
It's going to affect Gavin's fun.
Well,
knock him down 10 yards.
That's true. I don't know.
We're supposed to play this match on Saturday, but I don't know. It's supposed to be in the afternoon after flag football, but the weather, a little dicey. But they're leaving on the 10th, so we may have to kick it to January.
So they're in town
through Sunday. Yep. But I think they come back in January, so we may have to do that. Because I want to get them on the show and kind of build this thing up, but with the forecast, I'm just not 100% confident that we're actually going to do it.
And this is Team North? Is that
it's Team North combined with the DOD King, CVA Golf.
Okay.
Them three versus me, Gavin, and Wes. In a scramble. It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
They're good. They play golf literally all the time. And he hits it off the deck all the time.
So what's this 75 days, 75? Are they trying different drinks throughout that?
I have no idea. That would be great to have them on the show because you could ask them that question.
I thought they were going to come on the show.
They are, but I want the match to be coming up the next day so that it's like it builds it up and there's a lot of trash talk.
I've been watching some of it. They're interesting guys.
Yeah. I had somebody on, I shared on the ones where they do it at Bay Point. I shared that on our stories and somebody said, no, Bay Point, don't do that. I was like, what? Do what? Be hip with all the people that are watching, social media golf?
Right.
I don't know. That's golf nowadays. It's trends, right? Having fun on the golf course.
These guys have fun. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt about that. And speaking of fun, the NFL, you remember the incident between Dom, the Philadelphia Eagles security guy, and Dre Greenlaw, the linebacker for the Niners. The National Football League released a press release yesterday, and or a memo to the league. It was to all the CEOs, presidents, general managers, and head coaches, and it said this was more directed at the staffer than actually Greenlaw. Obviously, as a player, you can't be touching anybody like that, but the playing rules of the National Football League and our game operations policies clearly prohibit non-player personnel, coaches, trainers, equipment staff, security officers, and others from making physical contact with, taunting, or directing abusive or insulting language toward opposing players, game officials, or others involved in a game. If an altercation occurs, club personnel club personnel are to allow the coaches and the game officials to manage the situation. That was a weirdly written sentence there. With the officials assessing appropriate penalties with assistance from the league office if needed. Under no circumstances are club personnel to engage or make physical contact with another club's player or personnel. This has been made clear on numerous occasions, including earlier this year at the Fall League meeting and in Football Operations Memos 723 and 823 dated September 13th, 2023. An operations department will diligently enforce these rules and assess accountability measures on both individuals and clubs as appropriate. In addition to ejection, these may include fines and or other suspensions without pay. Please ensure all members of your game day staff understand that their role does not extend to being involved with game day altercations, and they must refrain from such involvement. If you or a member of your staff has any questions, please contact the National Football Departments. How does that make you feel?
I mean, we're talking confrontation, right? If you go back to the video, it was almost like your 49ers guy was like, hey, will you smell my fingers? I mean, that's kind of what it...
He had a little booger on his mustache. He was just trying to wipe it off.
Yeah, I mean, this thing's been blown out way... I mean...
the whole point of it is if you're not a coach or a player and you're just, a staffer, I think they said, non-player personnel, coaches, trainers, equipment staff, security officers, or others, they're not to engage with other players on the other team or refs or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what happened. Now, Greenlaw stuck his hand out and was going to point.
Smell my finger.
Yeah. He's just wiping his mustache for him. I thought it was helping him. And Greenlaw got ejected, and obviously Dom was told to leave as well. But just thought that was a little interesting fun fact there.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
But it was heated. It's hard
to
refrain when, especially when you're, football and hockey, these sports where you're just going and trying to wear out people and knock them out. It's tough to dial it back when you have to.
But who would have thought of the security, the ironic thing?
Oh, Dom's a legend there in Philadelphia. He's been there forever, what K-Man Rick was saying.
Okay.
I mean, he was getting cheered on the way out. But you're not supposed to do that.
Who took his job, though, as a security guy? I don't
think they have a second string security manager there.
Yeah.
They might. I don't know. I don't know. I'm excited when we get back from this break. We'll be joined by Charlie Belgian. We're going to go through his story, how he came into golf, how he won on the PGA Tour, fighting through a panic attack, and then kind of getting him in a battle with some alcohol addiction, and then getting past that, and where he is now today, and what his goals are with helping other people. You're listening to The Inside Drive, live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
Your home for the NFL. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Tonight, it's Thursday Night Football.
Cuts left to the 5. Harris barreling into the end zone for a Steeler touchdown.
The Steelers are tied for first in the AFC North and looking to roll against the 2-10 New England Patriots. Coverage starts at 6:30, kickoff at 7:15 right here on your home for the NFL on the Gulf Coast, ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, partly cloudy skies and a high of 59 with a light breeze coming out of the south-southeast around 5 miles per hour. For tonight, some clouds and a low near 51. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy most of the day except a slight chance of showers in the evening and a high around 67. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
It's time to pick your path and go big and go bold from Bill Bird Kia. You can drive away in a brand new 2024 Telluride from Bill Bird Kia. The 2024 Telluride protects what matters, and it's built for the long haul. Its technology will connect with confidence, and its upscale, all-around rugged look will take you on to the next adventure. The road is yours. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or BillBirdKia.com.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
For the Inside Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey and Jay Henley.
This man is destroying golf.
Broadcasting live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios.
You may be right, but our ratings are up and we're attracting new youthful sponsors.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. As we've been talking about, we are excited. He is now on the line. That is Charlie Belgian. He is a PGA Tour winner. Went through a tough bout with some addiction, came out on the other side, found gratitude, found God, and now is trying to get back there on the PGA Tour, but not for himself, but to help others. Charlie, we are so excited to have you on the show today, and I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us for a little bit here in the Florida Panhandle on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me. I'm sorry that it took so long to get me on the show, but we're going to have a good time today, and I look forward to it.
No, absolutely. And I know you've got a lot going on. I mean, you just finished stage 2 there of the qualifying school. So, again, I'm sure you're very, very busy, and we appreciate your time. But we're going to jump right into it because I think there's a lot we want to get into today and a lot you want to get through to our listeners as well. But let's start simply. How and when did you get into golf?
I got into golf when I was probably like 5 or 6. My parents used to ship me to Houston, Texas in the summertime, with which that humidity is no joke. My grandfather was a great golfer, and I spent the summers with him learning to play golf there. And then I grew up out here in East Mesa at Alta Mesa Golf Club, and have been there ever since, and still where I play golf. And I just fell in love with it from an early age, being outdoors and good people. And it's 35 years later, here we are.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. And Jay Henley joins me every day. He's our director of instruction out there at Bay Point Golf Club. And you won one of the largest tournaments you possibly can as a junior golfer, and that was back in 2002. You won the U.S. Junior Amateur. How was that?
That was it was incredible. During that time, my folks didn't really have the money to send me to travel and play all the national events, so I planned on going to Mesa Community College, and then I happened to qualify for the U.S. Junior at Atlanta Athletic Club, the home of Bobby Jones. Wow. I showed up there. Nobody knew who I was, 156-player field. I made about a 60-footer on the last hole to get into match play, and then just started picking off guys left and right, and ended up winning the tournament. And at that time, I was lucky enough to go from Mesa Community College to any big school in the country that I wanted. So that was really a huge turning stone in my career, for sure.
Well, and that's what's so epic about golf is that was one moment in time that really changed the trajectory of what your golf career was doing. And you could really dial it back to just making that bomb putt to get into match play.
100%.
And then you took advantage of that opportunity and won the U.S. Junior Amateur. To put your name on that trophy is pretty unbelievable, that's for sure. What year did you turn pro? After college?
I turned pro after college, which would have been the summer of 2007.
And then you were kind of going through the mini tours a little bit. Talk about how the competition on the mini tours is arguably just as good as the competition on the big tour. It's just trying to get that break, because you had 7 wins there on the Gateway Tour.
Yeah, the mini tours are great. It teaches you to go out and make a lot of birdies. It teaches you to be competitive. However, I don't think the mini tours do a great job of necessarily preparing you for the next stage, because the golf courses you play in mini tours are set up to make a bunch of birdies, no deep rough, no sinking your way around the golf course. And luckily for me, with my maturity, that's the reason I can still hang with these kids at 22, 23, 24 that hit it 50 yards by me, is because they're just not mature enough to use their brains yet to really dissect golf courses. They're hitting drivers when they should hit irons, and firing at flags when they should be hitting the middle of the green. But the talent, just the talent alone last week at second stage, I mean, I definitely don't think I had the most talent there. I definitely think I had the most brains, which I don't know if I've ever said that out loud before. But that's what got me through last week. I had a guy that I played with in the 3rd and 4th round that was hitting it 70 to 80 yards by me. So there's a guy with way more talent and way more power, but unfortunately he didn't quite have the brains. That'll come with time. But, here I am with another shot to get back to the tour.
Yeah, absolutely. And let's go back to when you got onto the PGA Tour. How did you earn your opportunity? And we'll talk about your victory there at the Children's Miracle Classic here in just a second.
Yeah, so I think up until this year, I was either the last year or second to last year to be able to go to Q School and get your tour card. So I went from what we call the barbecue tour, the mini tours, to the big show. I skipped the Corn Ferry Tour. I've only played a handful of tournaments ever out there. But, yeah, I think I finished 13th. At that time, they were giving you 25 cards at Q School. I think I finished 13th. Was fortunate enough on my fifth try to get through Q School and get a tour card, and off I ran.
Yeah, and I mean, just talk real quickly about how difficult it is to go through that Q School process, because there's like you said, there was 25 spots available, and I'm sure there's thousands of people trying to qualify for that. And that's when you could actually qualify for the PGA Tour, and they've since got rid of the qualifying for the PGA Tour. But just talk briefly how the competition is in that.
Well, real quick, this year there are tour cards available at Q School. That was one of their changes that they made.
That's awesome.
Q School is the worst. I hadn't done Q School before last week until 12 years, and on about the third hole, I was already mentally exhausted at the tournament, and when we finished the first 18, I couldn't wait to take a nap. It's just, when you have every shot means so much, because you either make it or you wait another year, and then you have to figure out what you're going to do for the next year, how you're going to get better, how you're going to compete. So every shot is so crucial, and at the end of the day, after 280 shots that I hit last week, it came down to a 12-foot putt. Do I make it and extend my career, or do I miss it and figure out what I'm going to do? And that's just the hard part, is there's just so much pressure and so much meaning behind each shot that it's exhausting.
Yeah, it's a pressure that a lot will never, ever, ever understand.
The pressure is 10 times what it was when I won on the PGA Tour, when I was in a playoff on the PGA Tour. Those pressure situations on the big stage are, in my opinion, nothing compared to what Q School is.
Yeah, I want to get to a lot of kind of the life stuff and where where you are now and where you were, but let's talk about the PGA Tour victory you have. A lot of people, if they don't remember, it was your first career victory, but you had kind of a tough second day, and panic attack, hospital, and then you still come back and win the tournament. Talk about, I know you've talked about that and had interviews, but if people don't know about that, kind of just let them know what happened during that situation. Your first ever PGA Tour victory, and you're dealing with something like that.
Yeah, well, my first ever PGA Tour victory, I had to finish solo third to keep my job on the PGA Tour. 2 months prior, I had my first child, so no pressure, right? No pressure. And, yeah, so I go out there and, I play a really solid first round. I go out there the second day, and before I tee off, I tell my caddy, I said, something's not right. I'm just not feeling right. So I had the medics come over and check me out. They said my heart was pounding, but I had no option. I had to go play golf, and I went out there and I eagled the first hole, and then I birdied 3 holes, and I'm just lighting this place on fire. But I have something going on with my heart, and something that I'm feeling in my body that I've never felt before. So it made me really nervous. I never knew what anxiety was. I never knew what a panic attack was. I make the turn on number 10. I think I shoot about 30 on the front 9. I'm leading the tournament. Now people are coming over. Cameras are coming over, and unfortunately the paramedics came over, and they took my blood. They took my blood pressure. I was like 180 over 120, and they said, "Listen, you probably got to quit here, man. This isn't good." And I said, "Well, quitting is not an option. I'm either I'm gonna play or I'm gonna die on this golf course. That's how it's gonna go." And I ended up shooting 64. As soon as I putted out on 18, I just started crying, and everybody's like, "Why is this guy crying? He just shot 64. He's leading the golf tournament." But I just felt such a relief that I had made it through. I didn't die. I didn't have to withdraw, and I signed my scorecard. They put me in the ambulance, and I stayed in my golf clothes and my golf shoes until about 5 o'clock the next morning. When they released me, I was able to go and get about 2 hours of sleep before I teed it up in round 3, and golf was not the most important thing. Just surviving the day was really important for that Saturday and Sunday, and that's probably kind of why I won the golf tournament. I wasn't focused on winning and the pressure of that. I was just trying to get through the day. And lo and behold, at the end of 72 holes, I held the trophy. I held my kid up they did in The Lion King, and I was off to the races.
Man, what a moment in your life. That Friday round, and you kind of mentioned something there that kind of resonated with me. That back nine, you shoot 30 on the front. You're in this new, I won't say a new situation, but you're playing yourself into a legitimate shot. You had to finish third just to keep your job, which that pressure alone is unbelievable. But I heard you kind of say you were trying to get through it. And that kind of almost was your focal point more so than playing the actual golf. Is that fair to say?
100%. They got that saying, beware the sick golfer, beware the hungover golfer, because I truly believe that when you're not focused on your golf and you've got something else and you just let the golf happen naturally and as it should, that's why you always play better in those situations, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's learning. We have Phil Shomo on every once in a while. He's does a lot with the Division I college golf, and he always talks about that. Like, everybody's got the ability. It's just, and so many high-level junior golfers, I don't mean to get off topic, they go out there and they play, they can hit the ball beautifully, and then they make one bad shot, and they immediately think it's something in their swing. You didn't just all of a sudden lose your ability to swing. Your stress levels went up, and you're not managing that correctly.
And your hands are tingling, and your body's giving you sensations that you've never felt before. And that just comes with going through the motions and learning how to deal with that 100%.
Yeah. And the ones that learn how to deal with that and overcome that seem to be the ones
you watch on TV.
Yeah. No, 100%. All right, let's jump into the life stuff a little bit. Obviously, you're very vocal about your sobriety now, and you're recovered, and you're moving in the direction you need to be moving. How did you get into that rock bottom? How did it all kind of come to be? Your bout with alcoholism and how much you've come now to where you are, which is incredibly impressive.
Rock bottom for me was at the Sedona Open about 3 years ago. It's a little mini tour event that they hold up in Sedona, a beautiful spot, and I hit 18 greens and I had 13 3-putts because my hands were shaking so bad from the previous night of drinking. Unfortunately for me, I started drinking when I was about 16 and didn't quit until I was 36. So that was kind of my rock bottom, but the way the world works and God, and he started to surround me with these guys that I started playing a lot of golf with, but they didn't drink, and we had a lot of laughs and we had a lot of fun, and we started going on golf trips, and I was the only one drinking and they weren't drinking, but we were all having a great time. And then I just kind of had this aha moment. It's like, well, if these guys are having a great time without it, and I've got to have it in order to have what I think is a good time, why don't we try? And then the icing on the cake really was my wife kind of sat me down and she said, listen, she goes, I know that when I married you, I knew you were a partier. I knew you'd like to have a good time. She said, but now I'm starting to fall into the rut, and this isn't just where I want to be, so we kind of got to make a change. And I looked right at her, and I said, I'm never going to have a drink again. And when that kind of got out, everybody kind of laughed because they knew my past and knew who I was. And now here I am about 39 months later without having a drink, and my life, the trajectory of my life has gone through the clouds and on the way to heaven.
Man, wow. That is fantastic. And you mentioned heaven and God, and I listened to, you posted a video on your Instagram story a couple days ago that I thought was absolutely fantastic, and you had mentioned you didn't grow up around God. You weren't a godly person, and then people were asking you to come do it. They were asking to be a part of that, and then all of a sudden you just said, okay, yeah, I'll try it out after saying no. And you mentioned you getting together with a group of guys and just you started surrounding yourself with it, and you kind of felt this ease. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So like you said, never grew up with it. I had an individual here locally that kept saying, hey, come with me. And for years I blew him off. And then he asked me on this one afternoon, said, let's come with me tonight. And for some reason, I just said yes. Didn't think about it. Yes just spit out of my mouth. And I went, did this 8-week men's night once a week, met some really great people, and just not fell in love with it, but just was wanting to understand more. My wife, every Sunday since I've known her, she's gone to church, and she's gone by herself because I wasn't going to go. That wasn't my thing. And And she has had beautiful faith for our whole relationship and really for her whole life. And once I kind of got into it and started learning a little bit more, I wanted to know more, and I started to try to not just learn about it, but I tried to live it, and that's really what made the difference. And when you go back to how you were talking about guys losing their swing instantly, going to this Q school, this individual at our club, John Perkinson at Alta Mesa, before I went, he said, just remember one thing. He said, you don't get to decide whether you're going to make it through second stage or not. And that really hit home for me. And so I went to second stage, and I had never felt such ease and such peace because I gave up the control. I was a control freak. I had to control every aspect of my life, had to control everything that I could of everybody else's life. And I went there in the most pressure-packed situation, and I enjoyed the walk. Yes, I was nervous. Obviously, you're nervous, but it wasn't life or death. It wasn't, am I going to do this or I'm not? I just said, you know what? I'm going to go play the best golf I ever have. And ironically enough, I didn't feel like I had my best game. I felt like my swing wasn't there, but I just lined up at the target, had some trust in myself, and it all worked out. And that last week for my spiritual and my faith was such a huge stepping stone because I had never really surrendered or just let things happen as they were supposed to happen. I let go of the control that I thought I had to have to live the life that I wanted to, and look where I'm at now, you know. And I kind of gave up control with the sobriety or with the alcohol, and that turned out just so wonderfully. I'm so blessed every day that I still have the strength to stay sober because, trust me, it's weekly that I still fight the urge and want to have a drink. But when I think about the couple hours of reward versus what I would feel like if I woke up in the morning and had to go on social media and say I faltered and look my family and my wife in the eyes, and that's just what keeps me going, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I got one more quick comment before we jump on this first break. Is there was a quote you said in that video, and I think it's somebody said it to you, and you've heard it all your life, but it didn't really resonate until with this little bit you were just talking about. When you let go of control, you gain control. Talk about that.
You know, 1,000%. And I've been to every great sports psychologist there is, from Dr. Bob Rotella. I mean, all the top ones, and they've always expressed that to me. But when you're in at this high of a level in sports, you can't grasp giving up control. And for the first time, he said that to me, and it really hit home. And from really the moment those words came out of his mouth and it resonated with me, I enjoyed the whole trip. I didn't feel like I had to work on my game. I literally hit 10 golf balls each morning before we went out for our Q school round where guys are grinding for hours. I got done. I went back to the hotel room instead of trying to work on my swing or work on my game. I just knew that at the end of the day, if I tried my hardest, if it was meant to be, it was going to happen. And if not, then there's another path that was going to be just as good, just a different path than the one I thought I should take.
Man, and that in golf, that's got to be some kind of freedom that you feel. Like oh yeah. Go ahead.
The most freedom that there is. It's like I got through second stage. I go to final stage. Before I would be out at the golf course, sun up to sundown, having to be perfect. I took 5 days off, and yesterday I went out to ping and hit some balls. Today I'm going to play with those guys that I was telling you about, and I'm just enjoying it, man. It's not stress. It's not anxiety. It's not just total fear, and it's just enjoyment to know that there's a path that's already laid out for me, and how I get to the path, I'm not quite sure, but we're going to get there one way or another.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's great stuff. Hey, Charlie, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll jump right back into it. We've got Charlie Belgian on the line with us, and man, good stuff. Good stuff. You're listening to The Inside Drive. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The afternoon underdogs.
There was only two teams that could go. It was Oklahoma and Florida State, and Florida State went, but Miami had beat Florida State that year.
Right.
The FSU fans conveniently forget that part.
Yeah, I forgot something that happened when I was 7 years old. I appreciate that call, Stan.
Yeah.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies. New and vintage cards and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at InstantReplaySportsCards.com.
Kitchen Designs Group on Front Beach Road, Panama City Beach, offers full-service kitchen and bathroom cabinetry, countertops, and flooring. Plus, they also offer cash and carry. Take your cabinets home today. All-in-one vanities on sale. Cabinet, countertop, trim, and faucet included. The more you buy, the more you save. Must take standard sizes in Shaker White. Call Kitchen Designs Group, 850-775-4150, or visit their website, kitchendesignsgroup.com. Cash and carry only applies to Shaker White.
Bestway Portable Buildings offers a huge selection of portable buildings in just about any size, from the smallest to the largest. And Bestway's prices won't scare you away. Bestway is closing out 2023 with some of the most affordable prices ever. And while there, don't forget to say hello to Bestway Buddy. He may even give you a polygraph. Right, Buddy? Bestway Portable Buildings, 2919 Highway 231 North in Panama City. The best in portable, period.
And now, the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey.
We're going to have a talk. Tell me what you know.
Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios.
It's a frantic noise.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Hey, and welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We've got Charlie Belgian on the line with us. Charlie, we were getting a lot of texts and comments there in the break, just listening to your story. They can feel it.
Yep.
And I can hear it in your voice. You know, we talk about golf a lot here on the show, and we talk about the mental side quite a bit, and like just for your casual golfer, lowering your expectations and all that stuff. But I can hear in your voice the relaxedness, the comfort you have under a situation that most people would just be shaking at the knees at, and the fact that you've got to that revelation, for lack of a better word, is just incredibly impressive and inspiring, and we're really enjoying talking to you about your journey. And you've dubbed it the comeback story, and I think that's a great title for this, because you were there, and then you were back down, and now you're on your way back up. And one of the big things you always mention is gratitude. And gratitude is something as simple as just being happy with what you got, and that you have stuff that other people may not have. And elaborate on that a little bit more.
Gratitude is such a powerful thing. And again, I've known that for many, many years, but I'm starting to implement it in my life. And you know, I'm just thankful for the little things. You know, we take the little things for granted in a world where everything's hustle and bustle and trying to keep up with the Joneses and get the next thing. Like every day, like when I never prayed before. Now I pray 30 times a day. And when I pray, I just, you know, thank you for the oxygen in my lungs. Thank you for my 2 legs. Because if you ever met somebody that doesn't have legs, their life is a lot harder. Man, you got some legs. You've got, you know, just opportunities. And you know, the guy that's caddying for me, Brian Ricks, he is a huge belief in faith, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted him on my side. Just his calm demeanor and his powerful belief. It really resonated with me and really kept me calm. And we were doing these little, I think he called them companionship prayers before we go pray. And we were never praying for birdies or never praying to hit the fairway or never praying to get through, you know, the stage. We were just thankful for the opportunity that we had. And when you change that mindset, yes, it's such a big shift, but it's so easy to do. It really can transform your life. And in this comeback story that I'm doing, to be honest, the golf is cool. Playing good golf is cool, and I like it, but golf isn't my jam. What I've really fallen in love with is sharing my story and helping other people. I think I've helped over 40 people right now between 2 months and a year and a half get sober, and those are the things that I really enjoy. So I just happen to be blessed with this great talent and have an opportunity to get to the platform of the Korn Ferry Tour, the PGA Tour, and I want to use that platform just to help others not go through what I did and hopefully make their lives a little bit easier. And along the way, I get to, hit the golf ball and play some beautiful courses.
Yeah, I mean, and gratitude is such an amazing thing, and that's why golf and life have unbelievable parallels. Because take a golf round, right? You're talking about the Korn Ferry or the Q School round you're playing. Like, it's so easy to, well, I can't believe I hit that one in the rough, or that should have got over the bunker, or that lipped out. That can be negative, but you've got the opportunity. You're playing in that round of golf, and when you simplify, and that's life. We're so apt to jump on other people, and when something doesn't go perfectly right, it's the end of the world, and we get so upset. And that gratitude, if everybody can just have gratitude for the little things, like you just said, the fact that you're getting up every day, that you have an opportunity to do whatever it may be doing in your life. And I think I love you saying that with your story, because that's what it's all about. And now you're taking a situation that you went through and what it's like to be on the other side with faith and gratitude and wanting to use your skill that you have in golf. Like you just said, if you make it to the Korn Ferry, if you make it to the PGA, whatever happens, you can use that platform to help others, because there's so many people going through struggles, and everybody goes through struggles. And what you said, 16 to 36, that's a long period of time. And a lot of people don't see light at the end of the tunnel. It doesn't matter how long you're battling or whatever it may be, there's always an opportunity to make that change. And for you is a simple, finding God, finding faith, realizing you don't have to control everything. Everything control was something that's outside of your realm, and it's just very impressive, to what you've done and what you're doing now. So we are huge Charlie Belgian fans, and I know hopefully a lot more people here in the Panhandle will be. And you sent a little message to some people back in the Panhandle during one of the toughest times that this area has faced, and that was during Hurricane Michael.
Oh, boy. You put me on the spot, and I'm drawing a blank.
Jody sent me the video. Sorry, that's why you sent a little message to... Yes, sorry, I did put you on the spot there. But I thought that was really cool and connected you to the Panhandle a little bit there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, awesome.
I'm drawing a complete blank on it, man. I apologize.
No, it's all good. Basically, for the listeners out there, Jody was working with I forget the name of the Panhandle. We did a golf tournament for it at Windswept, but you had sent a message to all the people going through, their houses just being destroyed. Volunteer, just trying to get this community back together. And sometimes, a little message from somebody, bigger than all of us, so to speak, can go a long way. That is for sure. So thank you for doing that for all, because that was
yes, sir.
You talk about the little things, and I think a lot of people gained some gratitude after Hurricane Michael. That's for sure, because it's not about what you have, it's who you're with and your faith, and just being good with what you've been dealt. That's for sure.
1,000%.
All right, let's talk about your final round there in the second stage of the Q School qualifying.
Okay.
Walk through that. It's just a great picture and story you had on your last hole there. Kind of walk through that for us.
The last hole or the whole round?
The whole round.
Okay. Yeah, so we got out there, and like I said, again, I woke up, I was calm, I was confident. We went out there, we hit a couple balls, we went to the tee, and we started off beautifully. We birdied the first hole. I think we were about 1 under through 6. I checked my phone. I'm 3 shots in the number. I'm feeling really good. And then the big guy said, hey, buddy, I'm going to throw you a little adversity. I bogeyed like 5 of my next 7 or 4 of my next 6, and now I was 2 or 3 outside the number. We had 6 difficult holes coming up. The wind was blowing 30 miles an hour, and I never panicked. I never thought, oh, I blew it, I couldn't do it. I get to about the 14th hole, a tough par 3. I run in like a 35-footer for par that I knew was life or death. If I missed it, I was probably going to go home. If I made it, all right, we still had a chance. So 16, 17, or 18 are really difficult holes. I parred them, and then we get to 18, and I've got about 220 yards to carry this bunker, and I got about 250 to the hole, and I hit this 4-wood, which flies about 250, 255 for me, and I'm licking my chops. It's going right the middle of the green. I'm thinking, gosh, I can 2-putt for birdie to give myself a chance. Maybe I make the eagle, and I get through, no problem. And the ball comes up short in the bunker, and my caddy and I look at each other, and we're like, did it go in the bunker? And we're like, it's absolutely in the bunker. And at Valencia Country Club, they have this new remodel of the bunkers they did, and they did a fabulous job. And I happened to be in this front bunker the round before, and I knew that it was deep, and my ball was in it, and the pin was in the back, and I'm like, gosh, I don't even know if I can get this shot to the back of the green to have a putt for birdie. So we're walking up there, and I'm just like, all right, come on, just give me a chance, Lord. That's all I wanted. Give me a chance to get this ball up and down. And we get to the bunker, and there's no ball in the bunker. And I panic. I'm like, did it get caught up in the grass lip above? And one of my playing partners, he says, it's on the front of the green. And I looked over, and there's a ball sitting on the front of the green. And I looked at my caddy, and we said, there's no way this can be our ball. It's got to be a range ball, or it's got to be something. But there's no ball in the bunker. So I walk over to the front of the green, and I said, oh, my gosh, this is my ball. I said, we've got a chance. Now, unfortunately, we had about 95-foot putt up the hill the whole way. And anything over about 30 feet, I get a little jittery. My right hand starts to, creep in there, and I can really hit one offline. But I said, you know what? The fact that the ball's not in the bunker and it's on the green, because I had no chance in the bunker. Now I said, this is some divine intervention. This is way bigger than me. And so I took a wrap with my putter from 93 feet, and I came up about 12 feet short. And I said, that's all right. That's fine. I've got a 12-footer to still extend my career, give myself a chance. And I brought my caddy, Brian, in, and he read it, and he told me it was a cup out right. And I said, is that with your speed? And he said, yeah. And so I played a little bit less and hit it a little harder because I knew we had to get it to the hole. And, standing over that putt, I felt like I was at my golf course just practicing. There wasn't just any rush of emotion. It was just this calm peace. And, I kept my head down, and I struck a good putt, and it went in the hole, and I gave it a fist pump. And still at that point, I did all that I could do. I needed some help from another couple guys coming in just to make a bogey. And lo and behold, a couple of them really crumbled and set me up, and it made that 8-hour drive home from California that much sweeter.
But
Man,
I mean,
that is awesome.
It goes back to you giving up the control, and I heard you say it too. I mean, what an unbelievable mindset and place to be. You made a bunch, you made several bogeys, and a lot of people will be like, "Oh, I just made all these bogeys. I'm screwed. What am I going to do?" You put it out of your control, and it was just part of how that round was supposed to go.
Yeah.
I was just trying to hit every shot the best that I could, and unfortunately in the middle there, the wind and for whatever reason, it didn't go my way, but I didn't give up. I didn't get frustrated, and I just kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I think my caddy was about 100 times more nervous than I was, so maybe he was taking all the nervous energy off the table for me.
There you go.
But like I said at the beginning, man, it was just from the time I got in the car to drive there all through the rounds, there was just this peacefulness that I had about me that I've never experienced on the golf course, because golf has always been a battle of me versus me, not me versus the course. And for the first time ever, it was me versus the course, and I was just there along for the ride. And it was really one of the most enjoyable tournaments that I've ever played. I know it's hard to believe that, or for me to even say that, but the fact that I no longer had that internal battle because I had just submitted really gave me so much freedom and such peace, and that's what I'm taking into next week, man. I'm going to finals to play for a Korn Ferry card or a PGA Tour card, and I'm not anxious. I'm sleeping. I'm not grinding. I'm just I'm looking forward to the opportunity of going out there and playing. And like I said, it's not up to me where I finish, man. And when I can literally say that, saying it and believing it are two different things. We can all say one thing, but for the first time, I truly believe that, and just the peace of mind and the relax and the energy through my body instead of just full throttle cranking. It's toned back. I'm enjoying the day, and I can't wait to see what happens next week. I think I'm on a great track. My game's good, and I've been doing all the right things in my life, and I think somebody's taken notice of that, and I think that I'm right there. I'm right there to be able to get that platform to really touch and help a lot of people, and I think God's going to help me do it.
That's awesome, Charlie. Hey, real quick, I know we've only got about a minute left. I'll credit this to David Faraday. Golf is a funny game. Can you give us a quick 1 minute golf funny story?
Oh, golf is a funny game.
Remember the Faraday?
1 minute funny story. I'm playing with the owner of the Golden State Warriors at Pebble Beach. On the 4th hole, I'm putting so bad that I break my putter and I throw it in the ocean, and everybody looks at me like I was crazy. So now I had 5 holes left, and I only had my driver, and I birdied 3 of the next 5 putting with my driver.
There you go.
That's awesome. That is a good one. Yeah. Hey, Charlie, I know we got our hard top of the break coming up here. This has been an absolute blast. I hope we can do it again sometime soon. But to hear where you are, to listen to you talk, you are in an unbelievably awesome place, and we are certainly going to be pulling for you in the golf side of things. And good luck with everything. And again, we appreciate taking time out of your busy life to chat with us a little bit here on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, and thanks for you guys for having me on, and anytime I'd be happy to do it again. And for all your listeners, I know it's cliche, but just start practicing. Just say thank you for a few things during the day. When things get tough, just say, you know what? Thank you. And I'm telling you, it'll start this little shift in you, and then all of a sudden it'll grow, and all of a sudden you're going to become a different person. It's that easy. I know it's cliche, but it's that easy.
No, great stuff, man. That's absolutely fantastic. That's Charlie Belgian. He's going to be going for his potentially PGA Tour card next week, and we wish him the best of luck. But just unbelievable transformation in his life. Charlie, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a wonderful day.
You too. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I have no idea what we're going to do when we get back from that.
ESPN Northwest Florida, the Paul Feinbaum Show.
Who's that coming down the track? A losing team in red and black. Nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious, losing Georgia fan. JK and I, man, didn't want us in, where they can sit back on the couch and watch us win.
Paul Feinbaum, weeknights, 6 to 10 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida. Here is your weather forecast on this Thursday morning. As we head into this afternoon and evening, partly cloudy skies and a high of 59 with a light breeze coming out of the south-southeast around 5 miles per hour. For tonight, some clouds and a low near 51. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy most of the day except a slight chance of showers in the evening and a high around 67. This weather forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Chuck was terrible at fishing. He spent many frustrating hours attempting to get results he saw from internet videos, aggravating trial and error fishing trips, and misguided advice from well-intended friends. Chuck is happy now with his newfound success after he visited Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, where we keep fishing fun, simple, and successful. See us soon at Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
The only place to get sports betting coverage on the radio. Is this legal? Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. It's the Inside Drive with Brian Mulvey on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rockets in flight. Afternoon delight.
And welcome back. You're listening to The Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida, sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Live and local on 104.3 in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. If you're just tuning in, you can go back at any time on YouTube, Twitter, or Facebook and search ESPN Northwest Florida and listen to those last 40 minutes. I don't know where we go from here.
Yeah, no kidding. There's not a lot of people that get second chances in life.
Yeah.
It sounds like Charlie's getting a second chance, and he's utilizing
and he's doing something with it. I mean, and you've got your Elite Super Series thing coming up, right? Now you've got some real concrete stuff about golf and sports, and everybody gets so caught up on the wrong stuff.
Yeah.
I've never heard a professional golfer or somebody playing in the highest level of pressure and competition say that that's the most enjoyable, easy round they've ever had, and it all because he gave up control.
That's right.
David, what do you think about that whole situation?
Man, that was powerful, especially as someone who is kind of on the precipice of that journey or just kind of starting that. That's why I didn't end up even asking anything, because I was like, let me just listen, because I listened to that 10-minute Instagram story and just absolutely loved it, because he's so right. First off, when you're praying, one thing I want to add is you ain't getting to the Father without Jesus. Let me just say that. You know what I mean? I feel compelled to say that.
Yeah, no,
and so
absolutely.
with that being said, he's so right, man. Like the gratitude, the thankfulness, like that is how we get so caught up in God, give me this.
Yeah.
Give me, give me this.
Selfish.
I need
It's
to
selfish,
feel that
yeah.
peace. I need this, instead of I'm alive right now.
Yeah.
I've got a buddy who can't see out of his right eye, or I got, you see what I'm saying? And it's like, instead, and not just being thankful for what it is that we have, the same way that person might be thankful for what they have. And it changes the way that you look at every single thing moving forward, and it's powerful. So I would definitely encourage you guys to do that. Pray, be thankful. That would be the first thing. Let go of control, and you will gain in control, and you will start.
That's the best thing I got out of that.
No doubt, sitting there just 2 months ago, sitting there, and before that, I'm drinking at a very heavy rate, and to sit in a chair at a meeting one night and just be like, that's it, that's done. And saying that, and what for the next 2 weeks, people said, well, if you fall or if you go back to drinking or whatever, just know we're here for you. And I'm like, I understand that and I appreciate that, and I need that support system. But I would have never in a million years been able to think that I could just make that decision that I didn't necessarily really make on my own volition. Meaning, I did make that decision, but I don't think that it's possible in my particular situation without that. So everything that he said was just spot on and powerful, and I really hope that the listeners took that to heart, because it's been something that I'm living that story without playing golf.
Yeah.
And if I can tell you one thing, you can talk to your buddies, you can talk to your dad, you can talk to everyone that you want to. You will not get a better answer than what you just got out of the former guest that we just had on.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and it's so simple, which I think is what makes it so challenging.
So simple, but yet so complex.
Because, like he said, saying one thing and doing one thing are completely the opposite stories. Completely the opposite stories. And I firmly believe, too, I was thinking a lot about other sports and, all these guys that go on to be some of the best players at the highest level of the sports. How often do you hear them give the gratitude to God or not in their control? And when you can say you're not in control and you let whatever happen, you're going to be successful in whatever you do.
Absolutely.
But more importantly than that, though, and I understand that, and I'm right there with you. More importantly than that, who gets the glory when you are not taking, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? Is because when we sit there and we do good things and we want the recollection for it, the understanding that we did it, then what's the good in that?
Yeah. What do you think, Jay?
Deep thoughts, man. I mean,
good stuff. That's why I was so excited,
baby.
That's why I was so excited to have him on.
Well,
we didn't even talk about anything golf.
Prior to 3 years ago with Charlie, I feel like probably God was beside him, or God was maybe even behind him.
He just didn't know.
But in the last 3 years, he's following God's footsteps.
Yep.
And God's in front of him, and it's taken the spotlight off of him. And there's a big story coming with this guy.
Oh yeah, he's only on the precipice of doing some unbelievable things. I'm just going to get to the game of golf, right? When you can have that kind of mindset on the most the Q School is arguably the most pressure sport you'll ever face, especially if you are trying to become a professional and you are struggling. We talk about it all the time. You're sleeping in your car. You're having to shower at the clubhouse. I mean, when we used to host the Hooters tour stuff there, but I know the guy he's talking about, the 22, 23-year-old guy that, it's end all be all. If I don't do this, I mean, Michael Shears is, and you said Michael was listening, which was awesome.
Yeah.
And I hope he takes a lot from he's trying to fight the grind right now, but he's got that attitude. He's got that lack of letting the control go, and he gains the control because what's going to happen is going to happen. You just got to do the best you can.
Right.
And there's so many guys that if they can just, like, he's on a trajectory, I can feel it, that's going to be pretty spectacular.
I agree.
He's going to play really well in this Q School qualifying in this final stage, and he's going to get on back on the Korn Ferry, or maybe, I didn't know they had a couple spots on the PGA Tour now for that. That's such an advantage in sports when you can, and yeah, you're nervous, your hands are going to shake, your heart's going to beat, it's going to be stressful. But that mindset of enjoying it is a whole nother ballgame.
Pressure, power, and patience.
Pressure, power, and patience.
That's it, man.
You need to get Charlie on swim.
Yeah, there you know. That is actually,
we'll make that happen.
Man, because I think
y'all could have that. We'll make that happen. That'll be cool.
I really did, like, man. My mind went from the 20 minutes in the opening segment when, I wasn't very active in that. I'm sitting over here doing show prep, but the whole time mentally I'm thinking on what should is there anything I should ask or bring up with Charlie? And when you guys started talking, I'm like, no. Like, the way that this interview is going is perfect. It's at the right level that it needs to be at and everything. I don't want to interrupt this with my own stuff and take away from the 40 minutes or whatever that he was able to talk. And, golly, it was just so, it went from thinking of questions to just, no, I'm blocking everything out right now and taking this in.
Yeah, absorbing it. Yeah, that's why I was going to say I was a little nervous about this one going into it. It's just because I wanted it to be what happened.
Right.
Because I felt like we could have got off on tangents about, like, golf and stuff like that, but it was so much more than that. And I like it because we talk about this stuff all the time, especially in golf, how difficult it is in controlling your stress levels and managing your expectations. And I'm going to keep falling back to when you let go of control, you gain control.
It's in the nutshell right there, right? Because same way with that interview, you wanted everything to go, and everything did, and you didn't really do anything out of the ordinary or whatever.
Yep.
That was beautiful.
That was fun.
It was really powerful, man. I had a couple people text me saying this good stuff.
Yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And that's his journey now. His journey is not to, make millions of dollars playing golf. He heard him say it. His journey is to help other people.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't get back to the Korn Ferry Tour, he can still help people.
Oh, yeah. He's not. And that's not going to, and he will, because that's the journey he is on. But, that 30 for 30 when it comes. Good one. That's for sure. Hopefully, maybe we'll get some clips from this show on that.
Right.
That would be awesome.
That would be, man.
That would be awesome. Just a good dude.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to Jody Graham. We've been trying to make this connection for a while. Obviously, Charlie is trying to make it on professional golf tours again, so he's got a little bit going. But did you hear him? I'm going to keep circling back to this. It's hard to pivot to whatever else is going on in sports. I don't really know. There was some big trade to the Yankees yesterday or something like that, but who really cares?
Soto what?
Yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's why he's got his own radio show. God, what was I going to say? Say something. I got to get it come back to me.
What do you,
he just wants you to talk for a couple seconds so that
I can regroup in my mental,
We were going to
I was going to go with direction, and
Charlie
then
Belgian,
I lost it.
he was,
Yeah, I think you were going to you were talking about the difficulty of all of the things on his plate with the Korn Ferry.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thanks, Jay.
Thanks, David.
You heard him say, like, he took 5 days off in the middle of running through Q School.
Yeah.
There's no other guy under the age of 25 that's going to take a day off.
Right.
And that's because now he's been playing golf for a lot longer. And when your swing is ingrained and all that stuff, that's a whole nother story. But you don't have to grind from sun up to sundown to be successful in golf.
Right.
I mean, does it help? Probably.
Yeah.
But just let go.
They'll let go, yeah.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
When you wake up every morning, just say thanks. And then go just do what you do.
Yeah.
If you've practiced enough and you've done what you need to do, that'll be there. It's just controlling it. Man.
He's gone through enough in his life to where all this doesn't really matter to him anymore.
Yeah.
And he's, like I said, there's many good things ahead. And I don't know if he's on social media, but I'm searching him up and following him. So
yeah,
I hope he is.
Stuff.
But yeah,
it's good stuff. I got so many thoughts, but they're all bouncing around up there, and I'm trying to get them to come out correctly.
Come on.
I know. Whew, I think he's going to make it.
I think so,
That'd
too.
be awesome. You know, he won it at the Disney course. That's where he won the Children's Miracle Network Classic. How about that? Let's talk about that for a second.
Okay.
Doctors are telling him to get off the golf course. Your blood pressure's 180 over 120. You could have a heart attack or a stroke at any moment. He goes out and shoots 64 in that round, knowing he had to finish third or best to continue his job.
Never give up.
And that's going back to when he hadn't let go of the control yet.
Yeah.
That just goes to see how much skill he had.
And that may have been the bottom. What did he say that was the bottom of his career? I feel like that may have been the bottom of his career, even though he won the tournament. I mean, that was when he basically had a control anxiety attack, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh boy.
You've never been on this stage before.
He said the cameras were there, and he shot 30, and then all of a sudden, like,
he's trying to control
what he's doing, that. And that was kind of the bottom. That's weird to think, though. It was the bottom of where he bottomed out, but yet he won that golf tournament.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that, you know, your journey in life isn't necessarily defined by what you think is a pinnacle moment.
Right.
That might have been the moment that was at, like you said, at the bottom. And then now he's got his tour card. He's won an event. He's got probably $800,000 from winning that back in the day. And and then you think it's only going to get better, and it probably got worse.
And he had a 2-month-old at the time. I know that's got a lot to do with it.
Yeah. One of the other things, I was going to ask him about this, but we ran out of time, you know, and I'm going to go back to golf and drinking, right? It's such it goes hand in hand, right? You got beverage cards. So many people say, I play so much better when I'm drinking.
Well, the A in PGA is alcohol, right?
There you go. Yeah. Professional golf. What's the P&G then stand for?
Gambling.
Dude. Gambling and alcohol. Yeah, we'll skip that for the P.
Keep going.
That was Tiger. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, man, crazy. I don't know where I was going to go because you threw me in a loop there. Oh yeah, but it's so hand in hand. And like, if you don't have the ability to control it, so to speak, that's where it's like almost the norm. Like every time people go out and play golf, I've heard people say, well, I'm not going to play good until I have a couple drinks. That's your control, right? And if you give up that control and you just play the game the way it should be, I don't know. We could go around in circles for days.
It was a lifestyle going back 20 years ago, and it's changed a lot.
I mean, look at John Daly.
I know.
Guy was hammered playing golf on the tour.
In the 90s. Yeah. In the 90s. I mean,
wearing pleated khaki pants. You got pleated khaki pants on?
No.
Good.
I've got away from that, but...
it'll be back, don't worry.
Yeah, it will.
Big baggy
I thought you still starched them and put them underneath your bed or something.
There you go. You got to fold them to the pleat.
Yeah. Right.
It's a lot easier to fold non-pleated pants nowadays.
That would be more of, I think, you, right?
Oh, I wore big, baggy, pleated pants. That's for sure.
I've seen the picture.
Yeah. That was embarrassing. Don't let Beth see that one.
But it was a lifestyle back in the day, and I don't know if maybe it still is today. Yeah, I mean, but, yeah.
But everybody's got different personalities, so it's going to affect other people differently. But it's so norm for the game of golf, so that's where I can understand where Charlie kind of went down that road.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he found some guys, and that's what, we got to get him back on because I want to find out, who introduced these guys to him because I feel like between his wife basically sitting him down and saying, look, no more of this.
Yeah.
And then secondly, the guys that he surrounded himself with are too big, obviously putting God in front of all of this. But those people are very crucial in his life and why he's pivoted into a better life.
Mm-hmm. Which always goes back to the people that you keep in your circle is so important. That's also something that I feel like I learned that in my 20s, but there's a difference in knowing and identifying something and then addressing that
100%.
issue as well. And sometimes it takes time, but like you said, man, the people in your corner, that was huge. And then can we also like give him a big kudos for his wife only having to say that one time?
Yeah.
If that's the truth in that. Like I don't know how many times I was told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like kudos.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's like you said, it's very hard, but it's not. You got to put your money where your mouth is, so to speak. When you decide to make that change and you let go and you give gratitude, it's as simple as that when you wake up in the morning.
And you ain't got to tell nobody about it neither.
No.
Because they'll see it.
Yeah. They'll see the change. I could just hear it in his voice. I could hear how comfortable he was talking about that round of golf. unarguably the most difficult stage you can have in sports.
Well, and he came out before Chris Kirk. I would think, Chris Kirk came out and said, "Hey, look, I've got some alcohol issues," and I want to say that was probably 2 years ago. Don't quote me on that, but there's others that are really fighting this, and kudos to not only to Charlie, but Chris Kirk, and I know Chris is right there in age with Charlie. Yeah. I think they're all, in their late 30s.
But. Well, and it goes back to and I'm just going to be blunt here. If you're an alcoholic, you're a bad person. Like, it's so taboo to admit that. Like, how can that person be like that? Like, that's society. But it's okay. And that's part of what gets you in the right place. That's part of the recovery. Yeah. And it's just, that's society. And and like David said, you can only do you, and you can do you to yourself. It doesn't have to be this big broadcast thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, and Joey from Friends, right? I mean,
Joey or Chandler? Because Chandler passed away recently.
Chandler, I'm sorry. Yeah,
he battled drug addiction
Chandler,
for a while,
Yeah, I mean, he admitted just a few years ago, all those episodes you see in Friends, he was high as a kite.
Yep.
I mean, and that's the thing, is like back in the day, Hollywood, those guys, it's just, I don't know, man, they couldn't deal. Everybody wanted a piece of them.
No, yeah.
Kind of as in life today. Everybody wants a piece of everybody because of the phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody, and I think
everybody gets so mad about stupid crap that has nothing to, like, oh, that person said this. Can you believe that? Who cares?
Right.
Like, do you?
Yeah.
Enjoy life. Be calm.
Yeah.
Coach youth sports. Don't get excited like me on the sidelines at the refs.
Yeah.
Because you can't control them.
Right. That's right.
I think our pregame speech tonight is going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah. I got to get some content into the second hour of the show so I can get there on time.
Oh, yeah. And the old 5:45 game, sneaking it in there.
Yeah, sneak it in.
But it's going to be fun.
Jay, you going to be there?
I don't know.
No, that means no.
Just say no. Yeah. It's fine. It's okay. Don't say I don't know, because we know that means no.
Yeah.
Just tell me no. I'm not going to be offended, because I don't control you.
Well, it just depends if special team's going to be in existence tonight.
The reality of it, all right, since we're telling you to be honest, no, it will not be.
We don't. There is no special team.
There's no special teams, but this is a special team.
Yes, and they all know you, and they love you, and the support would mean a lot.
I got you.
I'm not trying to guilt you into this. If you've got something to do, just do it.
Yeah, but also, like, the kids, man, from my perspective when I was an athlete, like, as long as... especially growing up, as long as the coaches were all on the same page and there wasn't arguing and stuff like that, it's almost like the more the merrier to some extent, So just come be the special teams guy.
Right.
The special teams
How about I be the special teams guy? You take the label of defensive coordinator, and
you're in.
Boom. Like, the label ain't going to affect me.
I'll even tell Brent not to background check you.
There you go.
And you're in. We trust you. We trust you at Bay Point, obviously. So. All right, when we get back from... Go ahead. We got about a minute.
No, I was going to say I can butter up the guys in the zebra uniforms.
There we go. That's a special unit of the team.
That is. Oof, man, this has been a good one.
It has been.
We still got 2 segments left.
Yes. And Jay's going to be here for both of them.
I know. This is amazing. Wild. This is wild. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We will be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show.
I didn't do a deep dive on this. It just felt like the NBA was saying, damn it, you're going to love the NBA early before it gets to Christmas, because Christmas is when we start to watch NBA basketball. This commissioner was like, you're going to watch. We're going to make sure you watch. All right. It's not like I'm on the edge of my seat.
It's the Dan Patrick Show. Weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Thursday's weather. The rest of the day, there will be a light breeze out of the south-southeast, partly cloudy skies and 59. Some clouds tonight, about the same at 51. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy much of the day, but with a slight chance of showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 71 Saturday, and we'll have moderate rain. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Billy, your gas light's on. We need to stop and fill up.
No way, Jen. Gas around here is too expensive. We can make it a little further.
Billy, listen to your big sister. You don't need to drive all over searching for the lowest gas prices. Do what I do and use Upside.
Upside?
Do you live under a rock, Billy? Upside is the hottest cashback app out there. It's free to download, and you get real cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. I use it all the time, and I've already made around $200.
You can make that kind of cash back just for buying the gas you have to buy anyway?
Yes, I'm looking at the Upside app now, and there's a gas station at the next exit offering 25 cents per gallon cash back.
Okay, I'm stopping to download Upside and fill up my tank. Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code KIND to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code KIND for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Welcome to the Inside Drive, the next big thing.
It's a big, huge, giant deal.
Sports betting, huge reactions, your calls and real-time coverage of the stories you're following. Broadcasting from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. Sitting inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine and Outdoor Studios. Good luck to those Lady Eagles tonight as they take on Rutherford at 4 p.m. in the final regular season basketball game for middle school. Just like that, it came, it's gone.
Have you guys played Rutherford yet?
We haven't. Ooh, we haven't. I think the playoff seeding is on the line in this game should we come out victorious, but can't control that. So whatever happens, happens.
That's right.
I'm going to tell myself that when the refs don't make calls. But I can't control that. I need to shut up.
What time's tip-off for that?
4.
Okay.
I just said it.
Okay, and then you'll...
Yeah, we're going to roll right from there, right into some Dynasty flag football.
Man.
Busy afternoon/evening on the docket.
You got that right.
I'd say I'm excited about this the Thursday night football game, too, but I'm not.
No.
I want to watch bad football.
It's going to be like that Flow Rider song, Low.
Yeah. Do you take the under? I think you got to, right?
That's not a lot of points to... I think you take the over.
I think both of those teams combined last week scored.
Yeah, the Pats lost 6-0 last week.
Ooh, okay.
6-0.
I think it was...
Ooh! Hit me with the breaking news sounder.
Oh, righty. Give me 1 second here, boss man.
Breaking news.
ESPN reported it, so it's got to be true, right? John Rahm.
Yeah.
John Rahm is going to the LIV Tour. It's the deal is believed to be worth longer than 3 years and worth more than $300 million. It'll include an ownership stake for Rahm in the new LIV Golf League team, according to sources. LIV Golf is recruiting additional PGA Tour players to fill out Rahm's team. Rahm's decision comes at a time when the PGA Tour and Saudi Arabia's PIF are attempting to hammer out the final details of a framework agreement that would combine their commercial interests into a new for-profit entity. We've been talking about it. It looks like it's official. Mr. Anti-Live, go.
I mean, come on. What about the names of these teams, these LIV teams?
Oh,
that's where we're going to go.
Played about, golly.
I love them.
I just, do you?
You need to give your control up, buddy.
Yeah. Soon there will be a Dynasty LIV team.
Will there?
If we can get some of that PIF money for our youth flag football team, we can be looking pretty good out there.
There you go, man.
Yet again, old John Rahm, huh?
I think we need to work on the pronunciation of John Rahm. I think we need to change it to Ram because that man is a GOAT right now.
Yeah. Cash money.
He is Rambo. Yeah.
He's a Callaway guy, though.
But see, I wasn't a Rambo guy. I was more of a commando guy. So he can go to LIV and he can make his money. And
which commando are we talking about? You talking about Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah, we're talking short. I was more of a Schwarzenegger versus. I didn't like Stallone as much.
Wasn't Commando the Stallone movie?
No, that's Schwarzenegger.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
Yeah.
Man.
Were you Schwarzenegger or Stallone?
I was kind of a little bit on the young side for that.
Oh, I got you.
I was Stallone.
Rocky.
Yeah.
Not necessarily Rocky. Rocky was definitely one of them, but there's actually quite a few movies that would come on TBS and TNT back in the day, and my dad would always be watching them. So
yeah,
same thing with my dad. Yep, absolutely. What was the one where he's in the jungle and he's shooting a gun with the bandana?
Rambo.
Yeah, that's Rambo. That's Rambo.
That's where I got confused.
John Rambo.
When you said Commando, and that threw me off.
Yeah.
But now we all know what you were talking about.
Well, he was saying Rambo versus Commando, right? I think you said that. Yeah, because Stallone versus Schwarzenegger.
Maybe saying Commando versus Britches. I don't. To each his own. You can't control it.
So how much was Rom sold out for?
He said worth more than $300 million. The official deets have not came out yet, but earlier sources were saying between $450 and $600 million.
How long of a contract are we talking there?
About 3 years.
3 years for six.
Not bad.
That's better than Shohei.
Oh, I know.
And then they're still gonna be making more money.
Yeah, and then think about if they win tournaments and if they win team events and if he wins Player of the Year.
The ownership part, was that in the team or was that in the Live Tour?
I think that's in his team.
Okay,
Yes,
like Brooks Koepka.
Yeah,
and stuff.
exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
gotcha. Holy cow!
Yikes.
Well, and what's crazy is, let me play devil's advocate.
Yes,
so he makes this decision so late in this year that who really knows what it's going to be like next year? What if Live players are allowed to play in PGA Tour events? So now he just got a bag of cash, and everything might change, and he'll be able to play whatever he wants.
Right.
And that contract, again, let me get a little more clarification here. He's just getting that money. That's not even for, like, he can still win purses and stuff.
Oh, heck yeah. That, like, when all the guys originally went to the Live Tour, that's how it was. Like, I think DJ got like $200 million or something. Like, that's just to go to the tour.
And the PGA Tour don't do that because you have to earn your right
no.
there.
Yeah.
All right, so it can't be long if Romer's doing this. It can't be long until your other top guys, and there's not enough top guys in the PGA to continue this battle because Liv's getting them all.
Yep.
Because right now, if you look at those rosters, I'm going to know more on that Live side of things.
Which is crazy because we were talking about that in the beginning. Jay's like, I don't know any of these guys on the Live Tour. I don't like them anyway. Now they're all on the Live Tour.
Yeah.
Crazy.
It is.
You're not happy about that, Jay, are you?
No, I'm not.
Can't even find any peace or comfortability in that.
That's right.
Just let it go, man. You can't control it.
I'm letting it go.
Heard a great interview earlier today. It was about 40 minutes long. If you just go to YouTube later on, you can hear that. It was right here on this show. The Inside Drive.
There you go. We talked about it, it felt like, recently.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, 54 holes of golf now. He gets to play like a scramble. I mean, it's great. It's great stuff.
It's not a scramble. They're still playing real golf, and they're still playing by rules, and they still got to beat other people.
How wild is that, though? Way more money for way less golf.
Yeah, and that was the argument. That's why Dustin Johnson, he had a pretty long interview about it because so many people got... And that's really when Jay Monahan was, like, painting these guys into a corner, saying that they're, anti-American, they're for 9/11 and all this stuff, where that PIF Saudi money, if you do some research, it's everywhere. It's all sorts of in America. So that, whatever happened, I'm not condoning anything or saying anything good about that. But the reality is that money is flowing through all sorts of sports and stuff here in America. So, like, Monahan tried to really slander those guys because, he said if you leave the tour, you're never coming back, all that stuff. And then he full circled with the merger. So now, like, I think you're going to see before the end of the year a few more guys going.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You don't want to digress anymore?
I don't know. I just, get them on some bigger networks. You know what I'm saying?
That's coming. I guarantee that's coming. After whatever happens, if the merger goes through and the framework and all that stuff start next year, I guarantee you're going to see Live Tour events on networks other than the CW.
Yeah.
It just depends on where their corporate values lie and all that stuff. Because there's money to be made, obviously.
And I think, though, in this day and age, like, the TV side of things is as important as it is to your age group. The guys that I think Liv is going for, the demographic that Liv's going for, is possibly a little bit younger for the longevity game.
Yeah.
And so why put so much emphasis on TV when everyone's going to streaming? So let's find that streaming network that's not, that's kind of there, that's getting started, and then we explode with them.
Right. I can see that.
Yeah, absolutely. But we kind of knew it was coming, but until it actually happens, you don't really know. It's just the next 3 months in the golf world are going to be absolutely wild, depending on what all transpires.
What would be wild, and I don't think it would ever happen just because of the way Dave Portnoy is, but if Barstool Sports,
yeah,
and Liv got together, I mean, they could do something pretty good, I think, especially with the party style.
Oh yeah, if
that
it's
Liv
right
has,
there,
exactly. If it's in with Barstool,
that's like because Barstool is what they're they're the sponsor of the Arizona Bowl, and they're like Dave's like the play-by-play guy.
Him and Big Cat, I believe, are the play-by-play guys, and then they have another guy who's actually they're more the color, and then the other guy is the play-by-play,
the actual football guy. Yeah, gotcha. So that'll be interesting to see how that all goes.
I will.
Which I enjoyed that though, because I think it's nice sometimes we get so caught up watching football games that we want our color guy to explain stuff to a lot of the stuff that they're explaining. Unless you've played football, like you don't know what he's talking about when he's saying cover 2, cover 3, the A gap, the B gap. You know what I mean? You ain't got no idea. So maybe they should work in more, or have a 3-man crew and have your fan type or your layman's terms type guy, and then have your other guy, because I want to hear the cover 3, cover 2. Like I'm seeing that stuff. You know what I mean? But then also for the other people, if they can get an explanation that they understand.
For people like Jay,
I'm not saying that. That's what you're saying.
He was saying that in a roundabout way.
Right.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, I mean that would be very unique. It's something we really haven't seen yet.
Sure.
It's like it has to be somebody who is analyzing it to actual football terms because they played it and understand it. No, that doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't.
Especially given how many people are watching a football game, and maybe that brings more audience in.
Yeah.
Interesting point.
Well, I think that's why like RG3 and some of these guys, like even Tony Romo, right, where he knows a lot, but he can still bring in a personality to the broadcast. And I think that's good for the viewer as well.
Education is good. Education is good to somebody just getting into the sport, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And Liv
like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, there you go. And Liv can do that for golf, I think. I think, Top Golf does it. Well, not really, because you don't understand the rules and etiquette and all that. I guess maybe just hitting golf balls, but
I wouldn't use Top Golf etiquette at a golf course.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
There was a very interesting article on ESPN yesterday about the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift timeline of their relationship. Figured you'd be interested in that.
I will search it up.
There you go. I'll send you the link.
Maybe, there you go. Just like when Richard did the whole Griffinites thing for you and printed it out.
Yeah.
Enabling.
Oh, y'all did do that.
Yeah,
right?
we did it, yeah.
Then, of course, all my Griffinites, like I get a few of them, and it's like, why didn't I make it? I'm like, well, I don't know.
Because you didn't do the list.
That's right.
There's your cop-out.
That's right.
And it's funny that you mentioned Top Golf. We're segue into that. Appreciate you doing that. You might have saw on WJHD TV yesterday, Chris McLean had a little interview, but a state-of-the-art and entertainment complex may be coming to Panama City Beach. They're putting all the approval out there. It's been plotted and done all the renderings and stuff. Now it's just got to get approved. But if I understand it correctly, it's not Top Golf, but it's a Top Golf-like facility. Because the whole thing with Legacy and Big Shots.
Right.
Well, then Top Golf came in and bought up all the Big Shots, and then that thing was kind of dead at that point.
Okay. So this is something totally different than the Big
And this
Shot.
very well may be Top Golf. I just got to dig a little more and talk to some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, Big Shots, because what was happening is the Big Shots, the Great Shots, we'll call them the knockoff Top Golfs. It's a lot less expensive for Top Golf to buy those that are already existing than build a new one.
Yeah.
So they've started to expand. They're kind of sucking up all those ones, and it'd be right there by the Walmart there on Back Beach, adjacent to Powell Adams Road.
Oh, it's great. I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think it's great?
Well, I mean, think about an afternoon thunderstorm, 2:00 in the afternoon, right?
Yeah.
It gives you an hour to go. Number one, the times I've gone to an actual Top Golf, just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
Best food ever.
Yeah.
In my
quality.
opinion.
Yeah.
It's great food. Best Bloody Mary I've ever had.
That's a good one. Their nachos. Beth's a huge fan of their nachos.
Yeah. I mean,
pretzel bites, wings.
Yeah.
I'm hungry. Is it lunchtime?
I know. No kidding.
Man.
But how long does that afternoon thunder shower last? A thunderstorm lasts about an hour. Go hit some golf balls, have lunch, and then go back to the beach.
Yeah.
Be perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, no, I think anytime you can, I've said it a million times on this show, anytime you can get, I don't care what kind of golf it is, but if you're getting golf clubs into people's hands, that's going to help us out. It's going to help your green grass facilities, because it's not the same. There's no doubt about it. But if people want to get better at it, where are they going to go?
GolfWithJ.com.
Boom.
Yes.
So you should talk to the Topgolf representatives and see if you can get something paired up with them.
There you go.
Like you go to Topgolf and you get a lesson with Jay, and they book it all together, and then you're making money off of Topgolf.
Partnership.
If it is Topgolf, I don't know.
Right.
It's just came out. They had the rendering and all the stuff in this last week's planning board meeting, but it's going to be on the agenda next week to see if it gets voted through or not. We shall find. We'll know a lot more next week, but a lot of stuff coming, a lot of entertainment-driven stuff coming to Panama City Beach. Obviously, tourism's our number one revenue maker. Our bed tax numbers are what pay the bills, that's for sure. And the more stuff people can do,
entertainment,
the better it is. I mean, you got the Pop Stroke coming on the other side as well. So you can do Topgolf, you can do Pop Stroke, you can shop, you can go on a wheel.
I mean, you can play probably putt-putt on probably 20 different...
That's what Pop Stroke is.
Well, yeah.
Putt-putt. Is it mini-golf or is it putt-putt? That's like the turkey and the ham, right?
Yeah.
Northeast, I think we call it mini-golf. Down here, y'all call it putt-putt.
Yeah.
David Hayes?
He's a putt-putt guy.
Yeah, putt-putt mostly, but I call it mini-golf too.
See?
Yeah.
I feel like that's me with a lot of things. Like, a lot of people with...
well, you were in the Tampa area there for a little while, which might as well be the Northeast.
Tampa's metro.
Yeah, no, definitely. St. Pete, but still, same exact thing. So, because a lot of people, whenever I'll tell them, like, where I'm from and stuff, I'm like, you don't really sound like that. I'm like, I'm cultured, man.
I'm actually from Britain. Yeah, everybody expects me to have some kind of water dog accent being from New Jersey, but no. I'm neutral. I say y'all more than anything.
Yeah.
Actually, I say 100% more than anything. What's something you always say in conversation?
God, I have no idea. I don't know.
On this radio show, you say, yeah.
Hey.
And then it's blank. So there's something you say. No, I hit 100%. I say awesome.
That's for sure.
Linda told me that this morning. That's why I brought it up. Sometimes I go, that is for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it. That's the way you communicate. That's the
your
beauty
DK
amongst it all.
Metcalf. He communicates with sign language after he scores a touchdown.
Who does?
DK Metcalf.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm the same way, though, 100%. I feel like I use absolutely a lot.
Absolutely, too, yeah.
I mean, do you smell what I'm stepping in? Do you feel me?
I don't know if I hear you say
when he's a chatty fella, surprisingly, but he'll definitely say.
I don't think I've ever heard him say, "You feel me?"
Oh no,
he does say that.
No, he does.
Oh,
he
nice.
does.
You feel me?
Maybe if he comes to the game tonight, we can hear it.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, half the kids on the team.
I'll maybe. Well, we'll see. I don't.
God, you're so non-committal. It's insane. Just commit, Jay. Just tell us no or yes.
He's letting go of control.
That's true.
But
by letting go of control, you have to make decisions.
I'm hee-hawing around.
Hee-hawing around. What's the shoe comment? The scuff shoe comment? Run that one back for me.
Yikes.
David probably knows it off the top of his head.
It's don't step on someone's toes without scuffing their shoes.
There you go.
There you go.
That's it.
Yeah, man. I'll be listening to you, bro. I'm serious. Both of you guys.
It absorbs.
That's why a lot of the times when you're talking and you lose track or whatever is because I'm 9 times out of 10 if I'm not doing prep, I'm listening to you guys. That's another man. You want to talk about praying and being thankful and stuff like that? Listen to people. Try listening more than you talk. Yep. Coming from someone who talks 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day sometimes.
Depending on Jay, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just saying now when I make it a point to listen, you pick up on people's tendencies a little bit more as well.
Well, it's 2 ears, 1 mouth kind of situation.
Yeah.
And you have to observe.
I have a tendency to, when someone's talking to me, I think about what I'm going to say next, and instead of listening to what they're saying, I'm just thinking about what I'm going to say next.
Right.
And I got to do a better job at that.
Yeah,
right?
But it's really hard in your position not to do that. As far as what you do right here, because you have to always be thinking about where you're going next.
Right.
So
it's got to be spinning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unlike some of us. Yes. All right. With that being said,
man, dude, why would you even show up to a football game like that?
I'm trying to reverse psychology and to guilt you into it.
Are you?
But I can't control you, so whatever happens, happens.
Well, I've been invited to watch this football game tonight. Who's Steelers, Patriots?
Oh, see,
yeah. And what? But I'm still,
that game's not till 7:15. The 5 football games at 5:45.
The way we've talked. Oh, okay.
It only lasts an hour.
Yeah.
And then guess what? It's just at Frank Nelson Park, which is just down the road.
That's right.
So boom, you got 30 minutes to get to your destination, and GPS will let you beat it.
And it's not 30 minutes because I think I know who you're talking about. One of our listeners, last name's with the Dub.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
I know everything.
There you go.
I'm in the loop. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Colin Cowherd. I've always had this feeling with Pete that he doesn't like a quarterback-reliant team. He wants to run the football. Seattle's defense, it's not great. The running backs, I like them both. They're never healthy. What Pete Carroll wants to win with and what he needs to win with feel like he needs an ideological reboot.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Weekdays, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Mid-South Lumber, where they treat you like family. Locally owned and serving the residents of Bay County for over 45 years. See Mid-South Lumber for all of your DIY projects, including windows, doors, siding, lumber, and millwork. Are you building a new home? Bring your contractor in to Mid-South Lumber and meet with a member of their sales team to discuss your framing, siding, windows, and doors. Mid-South Lumber, the biggest little lumber yard in Panama City. 717 West 11th Street.
The locals love it.
You're gonna love this. You are my favorite. It's my favorite.
Everybody's favorite. The Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey. Live from the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Chicken. And welcome back. You're listening to the Inside Drive live here on ESPN Northwest Florida. I will say this. I was very, and this is sincere, I really enjoyed sharing this show with both of y'all. Like, I couldn't think of two other people I would have liked to do this thing with Charlie Belgian. So I appreciate you guys very much. That was a lot of fun. And hopefully maybe that'll lead to some more things and some other people we can get on, and appreciate him very much. He's still texting, he's sharing the Facebook shows and all that stuff. So it's great. PGA Tour winner over there at the Magnolia. They still have the courses at Disney, right? Magnolia and something else.
Never played golf at Disney.
I hadn't either. My roommate in college went from one of his internships was down there at Disney on 2 courses. Then he's played a PGA Tour event. That was a PGA Tour event that was there.
I've heard those golf courses are phenomenal down there.
I don't know. I never played them.
Yeah,
I've seen them once going on the monorail above them. Yeah.
Did they ever get that that thing where you just what do you call it? Where you're sitting in a gondola or something across the
monorail?
No. You're actually sitting in a chair, a high chair, like a chair, and you're going across the
ski
park.
Lift kind of thing?
Yeah. Did they ever accomplish that one, or
I don't know. I think they had it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Another one, there was a gator incident, but
a gator incident?
Yes, that was years ago. I'm not going to get into that.
Oh.
Oh man. Anyway, did you see the news about the former Jaguars employee? $22 million he stole over the course of 4 years of employment with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
I have not seen
You haven't seen that? Oh,
No.
my gosh, yes.
22 million?
22 mil. Perfect. Neither one of you have heard of it, so this is brilliant. All right, Amit Patel, who previously worked as the Jaguars manager of financial planning and analysis, has been accused of stealing $22 million by exploiting the organization's virtual credit card program. Katie Strange and Kaylin Lachlan Cowher, the Athletic, broke the news on Patel, who reportedly purchased, among other items, a designer watch worth in excess of $95,000, 2 vehicles, a condo, Tesla, private charter jets, did a lot of online gambling, and spent a lot of money on cryptocurrency. Patel is named in court documents that were filed in the U.S. District Court in Jacksonville. The team is not named in the filing, as it is referred to as Business A, but the team confirmed that in a statement it fired Patel in February of 2023 and that he took advantage of his trusted position to covertly and intentionally commit significant fraudulent financial activity at the team's expense for personal benefit. Thoughts?
It's a crazy world, and I'm a crazy girl.
Okay, my thoughts are a little different.
Next time, just say yeah. Just say yeah next time, and we'll go right to David.
I don't know what else to say. This is crazy.
What comes into your mind? Never mind. Go to
who's the owner? Shaka Khan? What's his name?
Of the Jags?
Of the Jags.
I thought it was like
Shad Khan, I think.
Yeah.
Khan, something like that. Okay.
Something like that. As you got Boston Tim walking into the building. Go ahead and get there and get on the mic if Ryan. Ryan, you care?
No, come on in.
Right. The thing
warm.
that stands out to me, $100,000 on a watch.
Yeah.
$100,000 on a watch to tell time, man. Which I get it, if you're balling, but man, $22 million over 4 years.
Here's my question.
You do your taxes every year, don't you?
You're supposed to. He probably owes the IRS some money, but it's not legitimate income. Because what was actually his salary? That would be did you hear about this Jags thing?
I did not.
The formal guy that was the who's the manager of financial planning and analysis for the Jags. He worked there from 2018. He got fired earlier this year. Has been accused of stealing $22 million.
$22 million.
From the
$500,000 a month
just like that.
Wow.
Just like that.
And nobody notices that?
He exploited the organization's virtual credit card program.
That's
what I want to know,
exploitation right there.
Yeah, is if you become $22 million, I guess if you spend it, but is somebody going like, hey man, where'd you get all that money from? I guess nobody cares.
True.
I don't know.
I mean, if you're putting it all offshore immediately, I guess it's not going to be questioned, really.
He's buying watches and Teslas and doing cryptocurrency and online gambling, but that could all be offshore, so yeah.
A lot of that's not going to be noticed anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
The Tesla.
Unless it's that truck doing the Porsche. That was crazy.
That was pretty interesting.
That was
pulling
wild.
the Porsche.
Pulling the Porsche while beating a Porsche in a little quarter mile there.
Yikes.
But yeah, $22 million. So sorry, Jags. That's a lot of money.
That's incredible.
And Urban Meyer was there during one of those years.
That's what started it all.
There you go.
Let me stop.
Yes.
Not an Alabama fan making comments like that.
Exactly. Keep my mouth shut over here.
Oh, man. So, yeah, that was certainly it's been tough to kind of get back into the sports world after that beautiful interview with Charlie Belgian we had earlier. But, yeah, thought that was interesting. Since we got all four of y'all here, we talked about it briefly yesterday, but the Heisman Trophy ceremony will be this Saturday. Jay, I'm going to give you all the statistics. Okay? And I'm going to get your opinion. You got to say more than yes. Okay?
Sure.
Daniel's, his numbers this year, he had 3,812 yards passing, 1,134 yards rushing, 50 touchdowns. He was the former starter at Arizona State and had an unbelievable year this year. Video game numbers, obviously LSU didn't move on to anything. Bo Nix, he threw for 4,145 yards, rushed for 228 yards, tossed 40 touchdowns, ran for 6, and he had a team that went 11-2 and finished number 8 in the college football playoff rankings. He threw more than 400 yards in back-to-back games in November and combined for 10 touchdowns in wins over USC and Arizona State. Michael Penix Jr., he threw for 4,218 yards, 33 touchdowns for the Huskies. Obviously, they're in the playoff. He's the nation's leading passer with 324.5 yards per game. He earned that honor last year when he averaged 357 yards per game. And then the last finalist, you remember who it is? Marvin Harrison Jr. He's the Biletnikoff Award finalist, 67 passes, 1,211 yards, 14 touchdowns for a Buckeyes team that entered rivalry weekend undefeated. They fell to Michigan. His 14 receiving touchdowns are tied for second most in the nation, and he did it while playing with one of the nation's most loaded wide receiver teams in the country, which arguably makes him not get the ball as much, which you could say that he did. What do you think? Who's going to get it?
Dark horse.
And why?
Jaden Daniels just because.
Is that a dark horse, though? He's like minus 1,400 to win it right now.
Yeah. I mean, who's the favorite right now? Penix?
No, I just told you.
Daniels.
Or who is?
Now you know what it's like.
Daniels,
See,
Daniels is?
minus 1,400 means you have to put up $1,400 to win 100.
Yeah.
So he's
an overwhelming
yeah,
favorite.
absolutely.
Overwhelming favorite.
If you're looking for a dark horse, you certainly want to go with Marvin Harrison. Yeah. Not only is it unlikely that he's going to get it solely based on the fact that he's not a quarterback, but
it's like plus 200,000, isn't he?
It's something not even a real number.
We talked about it yesterday. You could bet $5 on it, or you could just go out in the street and burn $5. It'd be about the same thing.
Let's go Harrison then.
There you go.
Let's do it.
I think with Harrison, the thing that matters is that the one statistic where if he were leading, it would jump him up substantially is if he were leading in overall touchdowns, it would make a huge difference because that's what these committees care about.
The 14 total touchdowns is just not going to get it.
It's just not.
Sure.
It's not.
Now, do you think if Bo Nix would have won the Pac-12 championship and they're in the playoffs, do you think it would have been Bo's? Do you think it was Jaden Daniels?
I just don't think so. Daniels overall with his total complete game, running the ball as much as he did, the 50 and I think it was 50 and 6 I think he went.
Yeah.
It's really going to be hard to compete with that no matter what Bo did.
Very similar to Caleb Williams winning the Heisman last year.
Agreed.
As far as didn't make the playoff, didn't win their conference championship, but put up numbers that were just hard to argue with.
And proved that he was the actual most valuable player for his particular team, which is what the Heisman should be.
Yeah. Jay?
I don't know. Let's go Daniels.
David, or do you think Daniels has got it locked up?
Yeah, I do think that he's got it locked up, but I wouldn't be surprised to see out of left field Michael Penix end up winning it.
Hey,
agreed.
Might be worth $10 to put on there, Jay. Penix, I think Penix was like, I had it a second ago, but then I got distracted by your comment earlier.
Is this on Hard Rock Bets?
Probably in the 800 range.
Yeah, somewhere
which
around
isn't
there.
bad. I mean, he's got a shot. I mean, just because Vegas thinks he's not the overwhelming favorite doesn't mean that's got plus 900. Yep.
I've been staying away from gambling for over a year, so that was a pretty good guess.
There you go. You can't control it, so might as well not do it. Yeah, minus 1,400, plus 900, plus 2,200 for Bo, and then plus 20,000 for Marvin Harrison to get it.
Yeah.
So if you bet $5, you win 1,005, depending on whatever book you're using.
Right.
But you're in Hard Rock now, right? Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's great. It's good stuff.
Boston 10, what do you think tonight? 30.5 is the under. Lowest under or lowest total points in a primetime NFL game of all time.
Yeah, it will be under.
It will be
absolutely, especially with the way that the Patriots defense has been playing. They're the best defense over the last 4 weeks, giving up only 46 total points over those
and going
4 games.
0-4.
Unfortunately, they're 0-4 in those 4 games.
Wild statistic.
Yeah, that's pretty unheard of.
But yeah,
take the under.
There you go.
Let's do it.
Lock it in, Jay Henley.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Lock it in, Jay Henley. All right, since we got Boston Tim here, who's going to win the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl is going to be the 49ers this year over, hopefully, the Dolphins would be my guess. I took that preseason. I'm running with it the whole year.
Nice. Yeah, that's what somebody asked me the other day, who's going to come out of the AFC. I think the Dolphins do it. This is going to be a different year with your NFC and your AFC championships, in my opinion.
And the argument that they didn't beat any winning teams at the beginning of the season, whatever, that doesn't really matter. Are they or are they not winning the games? Are they not putting up points?
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is you have to win 3 or 4 games in a row when it matters. And if they put up the points that they're putting up, they're going to win those games.
And I think we talked about it yesterday, too. Home field advantage for the Dolphins is a massive advantage. Their team is built on speed. Speed plays better in better weather. Miami's got arguably, probably the best weather out of any football team in the country, and that's a lot better for them than having to go up and play, in Kansas City or, in Baltimore or wherever it may be. So
absolutely.
I like that.
Boston Tim does not have the Boston, it doesn't sound Boston.
That's right. I'm actually from Springfield, Massachusetts. But
okay.
You kind of say you're from Springfield. There's one in every single state.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really define it. You say you're from Boston, there are people like, what's the capital of Boston? It's like, well, Boston is the capital. It's not a state.
You can't say that stuff around Jay.
There's a Boston, Georgia, by the way.
There is.
Yeah.
I think there's 13 Bostons in the United States.
There you go.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Fun fact of the day. Hey, man, y'all two just sitting next to each other for a whole 2 hours. Y'all would just be back and forth with interesting tidbits that don't really necessarily matter, but are so interesting.
Yeah. And Jay would be like, I didn't know that.
And then he'd hit him with some anecdote.
Yeah.
Hit him.
Yeah.
But all your teams are from Boston.
Absolutely.
Celtics, Red Sox. I mean, you're the whole deal.
What's the hockey team's name?
Bruins.
Dang.
I know.
He's sharp today.
He caught me for a loop on that one. I didn't think
Boston College,
Okay.
Yeah, he's like legitimately through and through, and you see how I wear like hats of different teams and organizations and stuff. Yes, sir. Team Dynasty. I don't think I've ever seen Boston Tim in anything that was not Boston.
No,
I like it.
I got a whole sleeve of guys from Boston. All these guys are all people that grew up in Boston, relatively poor, and ended up making something of themselves. Something I'm trying to do myself. So,
is the
Cheers is always from home?
The Cheers bar up there. I'm sure you've participated in that.
Go this way.
Yeah, both of them.
Is it good to go to, or do you? I mean, if you're up in Boston, no. Okay, no. I've heard the same thing.
It's a tourist trap. You're going downstairs into a cellar, and it's just 2 small rooms. And there's no entertainment. It's just the setup of the bar itself.
Gotcha.
And for me, I like open spaces. It's only got an 8-foot ceiling. That's not good for
very enclosed. Very enclosed. You want to talk about something that's coming up here?
Yeah, absolutely.
Soon?
I wanted to, of course, thank you guys for the donations that you're willing to put in.
Yeah.
ESPN as well. Thank you very much, Randy. Thank you, David, and my sister for everybody that's been helping out. This Saturday,
you know it off the top of your head.
Absolutely.
So I don't
this
know
Saturday
why I put it in
coming up. My best friend's mom of 36 years. I've known him since I was 4 years old. She got breast cancer, and we do MMA fights here live with Impact Promotions. We're going to be doing a fight at Lake Town Wharf. Opens at 5 o'clock. Event starts at 6. We'll be doing multiple raffles there, including a 50-50. We're doing a giveaway of a rifle that's a 7mm Remington with a Leopold scope on it with a 40 CDS glass. It's a great setup, almost a $2,000 rifle setup. $50 raffle tickets. You can contact me at 850-814-8654 to get those raffle tickets. And we're doing silent auctions where you can get things like free lessons from Jay or a round of 2 at Bay Point from Ryan. So thank you guys very much. We also have tons of other things, including full day boat rentals, gift certificates to probably 20 different restaurants and more. So check us out, please. Live Lake Town Wharf Saturday night. Come on. We'll be there for 5 or 6 hours with 15 matchups, including some ladies fights, some kids fights, and some title fights.
Sweet.
Wow.
Kids fights, Jay. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I did. I heard.
Don't tell Liam. He'll be all about that.
Right?
Get him in there. We'll get him some of the best trainers in the country right here in Bay County.
He'd be all about that.
Emerald Coast Jiu-Jitsu is the place to go right now.
There you go. You've been listening to The Inside Drive today. What a fun show. Really a good time with Charlie Belgian, Boston Tim. Good luck with your event this weekend. And go Team Dynasty coming up tonight at 5:45. This afternoon, the Afternoon Underdogs.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The